Let's take a look at the first stage of processing, which is registration. And we have this skin without Live3D, which looks quite messy, and we're going to start with it because what registration does to a skin is most obvious on such skins. So registration goes through the frames and tries to stack them up in the optimal position. Partially, in case of scan with Live3D, this work is partially already done. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't register scans made with Live3D, but it's not that important as for scans without Live3D. So one more thing, I'm going to settings and I'm going to deactivate preliminary cleaning, just so that we have one scan with cleaning and one scan without it. And we're then going to compare the results. So I'm clicking start non-textured and clicking registration. There is much more things to do than in the first case with Live3D. So it will take longer. You're going to see how long it's going to take here at the bottom. I'm of course going to cut off most of the processing in the video so that we don't have to wait. All right, so we have our result. The registration took about 2 minutes. You can see it over there at the bottom of the screen. So this is now scan without Live3D that undergone registration. And you can see we now see the shape pretty much like in the first case when we have scan with Live3D. But this one still has noise because we disabled cleaning over here. Preliminary cleaning is deactivated. And let's do registration for this scan. Although it looks great, you still have to do registration even if everything seems fine. Plus for this one, we going to make a cleaning. So I'm activating preliminary cleaning once again, clicking OK. Start non-textured. I'm right clicking on it, clicking registration. And let's see what final result will be. Since we're removing noise, we're also going to remove some of the data that is not very dense. So for example, these legs of a chair, they most likely will be removed. Parts of this rim, outer rim of the table will be removed because it wasn't a focus of the scanning. And most likely this data is not very good and the point cloud there is just not very dense. So you will see that this data is most likely going to be deleted. The same may happen, for example, with a hair if you scan a person, and therefore it might be a good idea to deactivate cleaning for such scans, or some technical scans where you have parts which are hard to reach, and sometimes deactivating noise reduction, deactivating this cleaning might help to preserve more data. It's also true for some challenging surfaces. If it's like really black or really shiny, sometimes deactivating cleaning might help to preserve more data. So as you can see, part of this data has disappeared, like these legs and this part of a rim of the table. But the object itself that we are finally interested in is still there, so it's not really a problem. So we have two registered scans, one with noise. We didn't clean that, but we made a registration for it, so it's now consistent. And we have the other one made with Live3D that we also choose to clean, and there we go. So for in some cases, all you need is really just a point cloud. So in a sense, for certain application, the task of processing is already done. So if you just need a point cloud, which it still is, you can see these are just separate dots. You can save this point cloud just by right-clicking here on all frames and clicking Save As. So you can save it here, just give it a random name, whatever you want it to be called, and just save it. But just mind you that when you're saving point cloud, you're losing all the data about frames. So there will be no frames anymore. It will be just a point cloud as you see it over here. So if I go to File, Recent, here is our file that we just saved. And if I open it in Nest, what you're going to see is it's just a ply model. Here the PLY. This is just a model that we saved, and we have the same point cloud. Everything is fine, and this is still point cloud, as you can see. But there is no data about frames. So for some applications, this is basically what we need. I'm going to close this one for now because we don't need it. And we can now continue our processing if we want to go further.